Hello and welcome to StoryTeller from Concept Content Copy, and this is a quick overview of how to write a book. What do you do when you want to write a book? Some people start from a blank sheet. I actually previously recorded this but lost part of the content, so we're not starting from a blank sheet, we're starting from your preview of what you would actually be looking at if you started. What do you do when you're writing a book? You want to write your prologue. What's your prologue? And then you have your series of chapters. How many chapters do you want? What is your intent? Are you writing a lengthy book? Are you writing a novel? Are you writing a nonfiction piece of work? Is this going to be like a historical essay? Is this going to be like a doctorate paper? How long is this piece of content going to be? How many chapters and divisions are you desiring to have in it? And you determine what that is. Then you justify each section by bringing it centered, bringing the chapter down, centering it, bringing it up to the size. This is about 68 for chapter 5. And then you justify if you want a subtitle before you start your writing. Then you start with your first paragraph, whatever that amount is. You want first 3-4 lines. You want 2 sentences that got 6 lines, whatever that looks like. Do you want to go to the full extent of going through and doing your introductory sentence, and then you want to do three line sentences that gives you a full paragraph? That's how I was taught when I was a kid to do essays. And then understanding what your subtopics are. What are you writing about? What do your subtopics look like? And then listing what those subtopics are as you outline throughout your manuscript. How many subtopics do you have for each chapter? Determining what those subtopics are. Then, again, putting the amount of paragraphs that you want within each subtopic. Sometimes you have a lengthy amount of subtopic. Sometimes you have where you'll have 5, 6, 7, 8 paragraphs. You'll have 3 or 4 pages. Maybe it'll be the length of an essay. It'll be 3 to 5 pages that you have written just for one section. And then you will go through and if you got 4 sections in the entire book, and then you have your subtopics. Each subtopic has its own indentation or what have you that you can justify in by tabbing just a little bit closer in to justify each segment that you want to highlight. You may want to give it a little bit more of a visual. Perfect example. Let me see if I can open up. I think the book is open already. So let's see. This is what your parenthetical notations at the end of your book is going to look like. But look at what, if you're going to have your paragraphs, you start off, that's the dedication page that I did, where I center justified everything. And then you did your introductory where you centered your topic. It's not quite as big as what your chapters would be. And then you did your header notation, and then you did your sub paragraphs. Then you go in, and depending on what you want to add bullet points, look at your subtopic. Emotional is a subtopic. And the breakdown for each segment. I did about 5 segments in this, and charts, so on and so forth. Did a breakdown throughout. Then I did separations. When you're writing, sometimes you want to bring in a separation that divides the book into sections. This is section 1, where I talk about those types of things. And as you see in the upper segment, which I was just looking at, this shows you what each section of the book is. So the book was divided into 4 sections. Each section had about 3 to 4 chapters and a deep, in-depth breakdown. So as you go through, I went in, I did deep deep dives into the definition of what the heart is, what the meaning is, went back. The parenthetical notations at the end of the book will show you exactly how it was broken down. I did some biblical notations from the Bible to show certain biblical notations, breakdowns of each segment. And like I said, if you had certain notations that you wanted justified, you do your center justification, and then you do your notations to the right justification by bolding it to give you a little bit more of an understanding of what your breakdown is. Then you go through and you have your chapters. As you go through your chapters and determining what you're talking about, breaking it down. Maybe you have subsections, so on and so forth. And you do breakdowns, separations. For me, I did every 3 to 5 lines. I would do a breakup to not make it so comprehensive as you were reading it. And you could break down and go through segment and segment, section by section. Then there's also, I have this version. This is a book that I'm teaching through right now, where it's a very short piece of work, where each chapter is no longer than maybe 2 to 3 pages. And it's a breakdown. I have my subtopics, my topics, my breakdowns, where it is that I'm talking about, how I'm breaking each segment down, giving understandings, so on and so forth, to give you understanding of what it is that you are reading into, bullet points, breakdowns, so on and so forth. Or, as you see, let's see if I have it. There's also screenwriting. This is a screenwritten script that I wrote. Breaks down. It's written just ever so slightly different if you're going to do screenwriting for certain projects, because you have to have your block print. You have to do your justifications. You have to do your center justifications for your dialogue, and then your left justifications for things that are not dialogue. You must always separate each section by 1 line, giving yourself a double-lined segment, and then just giving yourself that division between each section and segment. And this is what you usually will see in a script. Certain scenes are going to have some bold print. I think that's lyrics from a song, and that's why I bolded it the way that I did, so that it could be identified as something separate from regular dialogue. There's many different ways in which you can write. This is if you were going to write for a manuscript, for a script, for a film or a TV show. But there are multiple ways that you can do a breakdown. It's understanding where, how, and in which way that you develop those things. It's not that hard to understand, but you really just need to know what your topic is. Once you determine what your outline is for that topic, how in depth and how deep you're going to go will determine how long your piece is going to be. But it's not too hard to do. You got to look at your justifications, for your indents, your side columns, so on and so forth. Are you going to have your book have, where are you publishing it? Are you doing it at Kindle? Are you doing Kindle KDP? Are you doing print book? How are you going about the process of getting your book out there afterwards? Determine your justifications, because I believe you have 1 inch per side, and then the top and the bottom is 1.5 inches. Then you can add your header and your footer with your page numbers and so forth. Then here's this wonderful hint that most people don't know about, which is 3D book covers. 3D book covers. When you determine and create your book cover, whether you have artists do it or what have you, this is a free source in which you can just take the composite image for your book's cover and drag and drop it onto this application and get whatever angle, tablet, composite. You can even have it on more than multi-composite. You can do like this. I have many of them already in my back office. Let's see if I can find one. Shouldn't be hard. Go to my downloads. Something I used recently. There you go. Here's one for one of the books that I've previously written. Actually, that's the book that I was just showing you. That's the composite image for the cover for the book that I just completed, that I'm actually doing a teaching out of right now. And it's a 3D image, and anywhere I want to publish or promote this, there you go. So if I use, let's say I were to go to my mailer, which is, where's my mailer? I have it. Oh, here it is. Let's see. This is my mailer landing page. See if I can find a good one. I created all of these covers in this landing page for my landing page for this particular book. So you can go in and you can drag and drop and use these things as information just to get you get your book out there. After, and I'll tell you this, for the free 99. This is Mailer, what is it? Mailer Lite. Mailer Lite is perfect. You can go and get you a Mailer Lite account right now, have full access to the ability to create landing pages, meaning once your book is written and you create your book cover, You can go through MailerLite to create a landing page to funnel your people through to capture a mailing list so you can mail out information, whether you're doing a course, whether you're doing anything in relation to back end work, that you'll be able to have their information. And if you start let's say you start a community or group, you can then send out emails to the people that are following what it is that you do and be like, hey, this is where my information's going. So come check me out in the group, join the landing page, join all of this, so that they can then know, okay, if I want to keep up with this particular person and find out more about their story, let me go through whatever their landing page is. And this is a great way to get and capture emails for email listings. Maybe you run a blog. Maybe you have a blog attached to the book that you are creating and you have written. Perfect example. I've previously, it's like you have people that will take, for instance, their social media posts and they will collect them. You have 10, 20, 50, 100 social media posts. Good thing that you can do, let's say you got 60 social media posts and they're all articles. What you do is you go to this. I don't know if I explained this before. You can actually go and create a photo book with words in it. And what you do is you take the article, break it down into quotes, and break down each and every section of the article. Let's say you only have 20 articles, but you can put 60 pages to the chapbook and then sell it like that. If you're looking for a short one hit, whatever it is, maybe you're a cook, maybe you got 20 good recipes. You can do a breakdown with some photos, so on and so forth. Do an Instagram, do a breakdown with your photos and quotes, breaking down each recipe in no more than let's say you did 15 and you wanted to make sure you had one photo and 3 images that break down the recipe. You do that for 15 recipes and you have yourself a 15 recipe book that you can sell for whatever your price is, and you can keep replicating it over and over and repurposing it and reselling it. Maybe it's a monthly giveaway. Not really a monthly giveaway, but a monthly subscription thing that you want to add to. Something that you can do as an addition to whatever it is if you're a cook. Because see, I'm a cook, so I recently did a post on my social media. Let's see, is it open? This is my coaching, so let's see if we can go to my main page. I did some videos this morning, so this is a reel I did the other day when I was cooking. Let's say you had some images and you just went through. This is a quick little video I did. I don't know why it froze on me. But yeah, I went through the process of showing you what I cooked that day, fully cooked a whole dinner. Now let's say you are a cook and you have photos. Perfect example. Let me show you what my vegan blog looks like. I was cooking meat for somebody that day, they wanted meat. But this is my vegan blog. I did a full-on breakdown. Now let's say if I wanted to do a chat book, I don't know how many posts I got over here. I got 81. So I got a little over the amount to do a chat book. But I did a breakdown on here of multiple different. I did my symbol, broke down into a grid. I did food recipes to show off what it is that you can eat. And you can break that down into a chat book if you have recipes. And just like you see square by square, you could have each individual square could have a part of, let's say you did 3 of these types of squares with part of your recipe in it. And then 1 photo. And you did that for 15. You could sell it as a chat book with 60 pages, a 60-page recipe book that could be a quick way that you can make some money as a recipe thing. Then do a membership where you put your videos through Instagram. You do your Instagram reels and then move those Instagram reels to a website and do a membership, and then do recipes for how to do meal prep. And you got yourself an entire business right there. There is, if you got a will, there is a way. In the name of Jesus. So there's multiple ways that you can write content, whether you're doing scripts, whether you're doing a book, whether you're doing whatever it is that you're desiring to do, you can write a book about it. I did a whole book on fasting and fasting breakdown. I might turn that into a chat book. It depends on the way that I feel like doing the breakdown. I just have to put it into just like I said, I do a breakdown and create an entire chat book for it. Develop it, create the Instagram, bam, bam, boom. There you go. But you can write and create content and develop a book very easily. Very easily. You just need to know where to start. And the most important thing is to start. When I wrote my first book, I wrote a second. And now I'm up to my 8th or 9th. And I'm actually at my 9th because I determined I could turn transcripts from my videos into a book. Somebody showed me a cool trick the other day, which I did not know. That all you gotta do to get the transcript for your videos is to hit this button. Ta-da! There's your transcript. Highlight the entire transcript for your video, drag and drop it into a document, edit it, and you can create PDF files of full videos, which you can then thereby turn into a book. So there's more than multiple ways that you can do this. So anything is possible. But one of the main things you want to make sure that you do is when you are writing your book, please give it a good title. It needs to be catchy, eye-catching, something that has a rhyme to it, a rhythm to it, something that's going to catch a person's eye when they seek to read this book. And it must be, if you're going to use Kindle KDP or something like that, it needs to have a good ranking, meaning where does it fall at? Is it entertainment? Is it nonfiction? What genre does it fall under? Is it music? Is it food? Is it health and wellness? Health and wellness is a highly lucrative field. For me, I would probably fall under empowerment, learning, encouragement, what have you, type writing. But knowing where to source your book, and the only reason I would ever tell you to use Amazon is for this reason. If you want a quick ranking, just put it in Amazon for the whatever period of time that they tell you that you can put it in there, that you cannot change the price, because if you put it in there for ranking, you can only put it in there for in between $2.99 and $9.99, and know that they're going to take, I believe, 70% of your commission. So calculate that out. Is it worth it? Not really. I'll tell you, if you're going to do it, if you like PayPal, PayPal your friend, and you don't see yourself making a high amount of revenue real quickly, because let me tell you, let's say your book has a hit and people go run to buy that book. What PayPal will do is, if they see a fluctuation in your money too fast, meaning we'll say you put the book out and you talk about it and 300 people go and buy that book. And because 300 people bought that book all at one time, and you made over $30,000 in one day. But if you do it kind of KDP, it'll probably only be about $1,000 for 300 people, because you've only sold it at $2.99. Let's be real. And you will only make 30% of that, which means you ain't even gonna make that. You probably gonna make back $300, which is so sad. So sad. But let's say it was a fluctuation like that. And let's say 90 people bought it, just to give you a little bit extra money. You got 1,000 hits, 1,000 sales, or $1,000 from that. Or maybe you got 1,000 hits, and you got maybe $4,000, almost $4,000. But at the rapid rate in which that money came in, PayPal will lock the account and freeze it, that you will not have access to the money for 6 months. I lie to you not, I've seen multiple business owners get locked up that way, where PayPal locked their money up because it was assumed to be some type of fraudulent activity. And don't have 2 to 3 books that you're selling all at the same time. Then you be in trouble, because then you got money coming in from 3 or 4 or 5 different sources all at the same time, and multiple books are selling off the shelf because you got 1,000 for this, 1,000 for that, 1,000 for that, 1,000 for that. This is what we want as an author, but it turns around and PayPal want to be stupid and janky. But PayPal works with Amazon, and PayPal works with your website processor, and PayPal works with PayHip if you decide to use PayHip, and PayPal works with whatchamacallit. Let's say you work through Equid, or you work with PayPal is like the number one source. I don't know why. I don't know. There needs to be a new regulation for PayPal, because PayPal be tripping on people. I've had a lot of issues with PayPal. So I would suggest you can go with Stripe. Go with Stripe. Try to create something with Equid or something like that if you want to sell your book, and then create your landing page through MailerLite or something like that. I'll say MailerLite, or I would say Moonsend, but MailerLite is better because you only get a month for Moonsend. MailerLite, you get a good amount of time. You can put your images up. You can play around with it and get yourself your listing set up, and as long as you don't exceed, I believe it's 12,000 emails in a month, meaning you sending out 12,000 emails in 1 month, you should be good. That means 12,000, meaning you can send out an email per month if you got 5 people on your list. You can send out emails every single day, but the longer and the larger the list gets, then you need to start transferring, and I would suggest you get a community. Good community to create on would be Circle.io, and right now I'm looking into something like Groove Pages, where you can create your listings and your web pages through that. And another cool thing that you can do if you have a book, there's this thing called HTML. Is it HTML5? HTML5. Let's see. HTML5 flip book. This is a digital flipping book. So you can literally create your book and then create a digital flipping book through an HTML5 that allows the reader to, once they purchase your book, they download the link to the page that they can literally on screen flip through your book, page by page. And here it shows you that you can do it on any device. Flip, PDF, action. This is like something to give you an extra level of creatability for your content once you've created your book. So I hope that this has helped you. And is a good source for you. So this is Taj McCameron from StoryTeller Content to Copy. And I hope this helped you.